I've been walking these roads under stars and the rain, asking questions that
Welcome back
circle,
to Vibe
yet
Podcast.
come back
Today
the
we're discussing
same.
Lance Twiggs,
Every
a possible
story
second
I
shooter, a
hear
topic
holds a
researched for us
flicker
by
of you,
David Morgan.
but it
I'm
falters.
joined by Charles and Angela.
Good day, everyone. Charles here, a retired legal professional with experience navigating the intricacies of both UK and US law. It's always fascinating to delve into the legal ramifications of emerging evidence.
And I'm Angela, a former U.S. criminal investigator. My focus is on the practical application of evidence, following leads, and understanding how these pieces fit into the broader puzzle of a case. Looking forward to breaking this down.
Excellent. So, Charles, Angela, our first point of discussion concerns the ballistic evidence in the Tyler Robinson case. The pre-trial evidence from ATF testing returned an inconclusive result regarding the firearm and bullet. Examiners couldn't match the bullet casing's rifling to Tyler Robinson's gun. Charles, from a legal standpoint, how significant is this?
From a legal perspective, Alice, this is a substantial development. Ballistic evidence, when conclusive, is often considered a cornerstone in prosecuting firearm-related crimes. The inability to match the bullet casing to Robinson's weapons significantly weakens the prosecution's case. It introduces reasonable doubt, which is paramount in criminal proceedings. It suggests the primary tool for the alleged crime might not have been his, or at least, cannot be proven to be.
Absolutely, Charles. From an investigator's viewpoint, this is a critical blow. If you can't definitively link the weapon to the recovered bullet, it means we can't place that specific gun at the scene through forensics. It sends us back to the drawing board, making us question if we have the right weapon, or even the right suspect, if the weapon was a key piece of initial evidence. It certainly undermines any initial assumptions about Tyler Robinson being the shooter.
It certainly does. Moving on, David's research points to an alternative scenario, based on video footage. Angela, the footage shows a disheveled man, often called the aviator glasses guy, leaving the Fugal building at Utah Valley University in apparent haste. His shirt is untucked, and he seems to be heading towards the car park. As an investigator, what's your immediate reaction to this kind of visual evidence?
My immediate reaction, Alice, is that we have a new lead, potentially a very strong one. Video footage is incredibly valuable because it captures real-time events. A man leaving a building in a hurry, disheveled, immediately flags him as a person of interest, especially if that building is acoustically linked to the gunshot sound, as we'll discuss later. We'd be trying to identify this individual immediately, cross-referencing him against any existing suspect lists or even just local databases. His appearance, the haste, these are behavioral indicators that warrant serious investigation.
And legally, this video evidence, if properly authenticated and demonstrating a clear chain of custody, would be entirely admissible in court. It provides circumstantial evidence that could link an individual to the scene at a crucial time. While it doesn't directly identify him as the shooter, it places him there under suspicious circumstances. It shifts the focus from purely forensic evidence to a combination of visual and contextual information.
Interestingly, Angela, a detail emerged about this disheveled man. He appears to have a bionic hand. However, a Luke bionic hand developer reviewed the image and stated it didn't resemble their product, suggesting it might be a fake. Does that complicate things, or offer a different kind of lead?
That's a fascinating detail, Alice, and it does both. On one hand, a fake bionic hand could be a deliberate attempt at disguise or misdirection, which would make the individual even more suspicious. Why go to that trouble? It suggests a premeditated effort to obscure identity. On the other hand, it gives us a very unique identifier. How many people are walking around with a convincing, yet fake, bionic hand? We'd be looking for anyone with a prosthetic or even just a distinctive hand abnormality that might have been disguised. It narrows the field, paradoxically.
Indeed, if it were a deliberate attempt to mislead, that itself speaks to the individual's consciousness of guilt, which could be a powerful piece of circumstantial evidence for a prosecutor. The origin and purpose of such a specific accessory would certainly be explored.
Now, this is where it gets particularly interesting. A composite image, combining a photo of Lance Twiggs with an AI-enhanced image of the disheveled man, produces a strong visual match. This raises the possibility that the man in the video footage could be Lance Twiggs. Angela, how significant is this potential identification?
This is incredibly significant, Alice. If the visual match is strong, Lance Twiggs immediately becomes a prime person of interest, if not a direct suspect. We'd move from having an unidentified aviator glasses guy to potentially putting a name and face to him. My team would be diving deep into Lance Twiggs' background, his alibis, his associates, his history, any previous interactions with the victim, Charlie Kirk, or Tyler Robinson. We'd be looking for any corroborating evidence that places him at UVU that day, or in possession of a similar weapon. This is a game changer for the investigation.
And for the legal process, if this composite image leads to a definitive identification and subsequent investigation, it presents the defense for Tyler Robinson with substantial grounds to argue that another individual was responsible. Conversely, it provides the prosecution with a new avenue to explore, potentially leading to a new defendant. The concept of an alternative perpetrator is a powerful defense strategy, and this evidence strongly supports it.
And finally, we have audio evidence. British podcaster Audio Freak presented analysis showing that the sound reflection profile of the gunshot most closely matches the acoustic properties of a shooter from the Fugal building. Angela, how does this audio evidence combine with the visual evidence we've just discussed?
This ties everything together beautifully, Alice. The audio evidence pinpointing the Fugal building as the source of the gunshot sound perfectly corroborates the video footage of the disheveled man, now potentially Lance Twiggs, hurriedly leaving that exact same building. It's not just a man leaving a building, it's a man leaving the building from where the shot appears to have originated, moments after the event. This convergence of audio and visual evidence creates a very compelling picture that strongly points away from Tyler Robinson and towards an alternative suspect. It's the kind of strong circumstantial evidence that investigators strive for.
Absolutely. From a legal standpoint, the audio analysis, if conducted by a qualified expert and peer-reviewed, would be admissible. When combined with the visual evidence, it forms a cohesive narrative. The prosecution would be facing a very difficult task maintaining their case against Tyler Robinson when there's such strong, independent evidence pointing to another location and potentially another individual. It significantly undermines their initial premise and raises serious questions about the initial investigation.
So, to summarize, we have inconclusive ballistic evidence regarding Tyler Robinson's gun, compelling video footage of a potentially identifiable man, Lance Twiggs, leaving the Fugal building, and audio analysis suggesting the gunshot came from that very building. It paints a very different picture.
It does, Alice. It suggests a strong need to pivot the investigation. We'd be focusing all our resources on Lance Twiggs and every piece of evidence linked to the Fugal building in that time frame. The initial focus on Tyler Robinson seems to be severely challenged by this new information.
Indeed, the legal system prides itself on a thorough examination of all available evidence. This new information, particularly the ballistic inconclusivity and the compelling evidence suggesting an alternative perpetrator and location, demands a re-evaluation of the entire case. Justice requires following the evidence wherever it leads, and in this instance, it seems to be leading in a very different direction.
That's all for today. A big thank you to our guest researcher, David Morgan, for providing our topic.
Rain, asking questions that circle, yet come back the same. Every story I hear holds a flicker of you, but it falters and fades when it's missing the truth. For the truth you need proof, for the proof you need truth. Like the river needs stone, like the sky needs the moon. For the truth you need proof, for the proof you need